Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to talk to you about Instagram and specifically how it has helped me grow as a writer, which sounds a little bit odd because Instagram is, after all, a very visual platform. It's all about the photograph. If you watch until the end of the video, I will share with you my 5 tips for crafting an Instagram caption that will capture your readers. I've been online now for 13 years, and before I started on Instagram, I'd been blogging for 8 years. I was writing for magazines, for online websites, for online magazines, and nothing has helped me more to grow as a writer than Instagram. Instagram has helped me find what it is that I'd like to write about. It's also helped me to uncover my writing voice, and it has helped me with my writing confidence, which also seems a little bit odd when you read all the articles about Instagram and how it can actually erode your confidence, whereas for me, it's given me creative and writing confidence. And for that, I am very grateful to the platform. So I'm creating this video because I get a number of DMs on Instagram from people asking me how I started writing, how I developed my writing confidence, how I worked out what project I wanted to do first, and how I found my writing voice. Sometimes those questions aren't asking me those things specifically, but what people are saying is, help, how on earth do I start? I've got so many ideas. I want to write an essay, I want to write a script, I want to write a novel, I want to blog. They're just so overwhelmed with the possibilities that they just don't know where to start. So if that is you, this video is for you, because I'm going to tell you all about how I started. And basically what I did was I stepped back, stopped writing for an online website. I even stopped writing my novel for a while, and I just concentrated on writing captions on Instagram, and that has been just a brilliant learning process with the craft of writing. It wasn't until I started to microblog on there that I noticed a difference with my writing skills and confidence. What I mean by microblogging, I started to tell stories through my captions. And before you get all alarmed, I don't mean I started writing fiction on my captions, which you obviously could do if that appeals to you. But what I mean is I would craft a few sentences that would make the reader of the caption feel something. Words that would hook the reader and take them on a journey through my writing, even if that journey was just me making my morning cup of coffee. Crafting these daily stories is all about getting better as a writer, to become more succinct, to experiment, to challenge yourself as a creative person, and to have that ability to grab your audience and place them right next to you as you describe a small section of your day. So whether you're in the middle of a field in the pouring rain trying to encourage your ducks to go back into their duck house, or you are driving a forklift, you might be, or you're sitting silently reading a book and drinking a cup of tea, or you're dragging your children reluctantly back to school after the end of the Christmas break. If you've experienced it, then make us, the reader, experience it too. Writing thoughtful words on Instagram developed my writing muscles. It helped me to write more succinctly and to make every word count. It also encouraged me, and this is probably one of the most important things that it did for me, to write quickly and to send it live so people can read it, so I didn't get paralysed by the writing fear, which is a real fear. In the past, when I first started writing on my blog, I would send a blog post live and then I would literally go and hide as though the person reading the blog could see me. So I would send the blog post live and then I would go outside and go and be with my chickens or my ducks. I would go away from my laptop just in case I got some sort of comment that would say how rubbish I was. So by writing on Instagram, I learned to do it fast, to do it thoughtfully, and to get it up there knowing that somebody, whether that's one person, 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, a sum of people would read it. That was a big barrier for me to overcome, and Instagram helped me enormously with that. So don't see Instagram as a time waster. See it as something to enable you to practice, to develop your writing muscles, to develop your confidence, and to unpeel the onion, if you like, and to discover your writing voice. All of these things come with practice. You don't suddenly have all of that. You have to keep chipping away and working at it. I know there are lots of people out there who would like to write. They kind of feel a bit intimidated by people that already show their writing online. I know I show my writing online and it could look like I'm very confident about it, but actually it's took me 13 years to get to this stage of talking about the fact that I'm a writer, of sharing my writing, of putting the first chapter of my novel on my blog, of admitting to the world that I am looking for representation for my novel, for my non-fiction, and just for writing more than 2 words to describe a photograph. So, for example, when I first started out on Instagram, if I uploaded a picture of my dog looking at a cow, for example, I would just write dog walk. That's it. First of all, that doesn't show that I'm a writer or I would like to be a writer. Secondly, it doesn't tell the reader very much about that dog walk, and it's just kind of boring. I put a picture of a poppy on my Instagram and I just put something like more poppy love, I think. Again, why is it that I love poppies? What is it about them that makes them so special? What is it about that particular poppy that I like? Is it the colour? Is it the fact that it had come out after a particularly grey day? Why did I like that picture of the poppy? Why did I take the picture of the poppy? Why did I upload it? What was it? What's the story behind the poppy? So as time went on, I started to get more confident. I was more comfortable on the platform and I started to see it as a microblog. So I wrote a few sentences and it would just be a teeny tiny glimpse of my day. At the time I was keeping chickens and ducks, and I would describe how I would walk around the field and what the weather was like, or what I was feeling as I looked at the sun setting. And there's a particular story that I wrote on there that really stands out for me because I don't keep chickens anymore. I read this earlier today and it just transported me right back there as I held a chicken. And even though I don't regret moving, and even though I don't regret that I haven't got chickens anymore, it gave me a pang. And it was just because of the way I described it. And this is what I wrote. Did you know when you put your finger underneath a chicken's foot, it'll automatically curl around it? Just like if you placed your finger in a baby's hand. And occasionally your 14-year-old, when he's very relaxed, will too. That's one of the things I love about chickens. Even though their feet might be filthy, that small contact of foot around finger can really uplift your mood. The top side of the foot is scaly and reminds you why they're related to the dinosaurs. But underneath there is a little fleshy pad, a softness, a vulnerability, a connection. It just makes that person scrolling through their Instagram feed, they stop, pause, and they read your words. And for a brief moment they're transported and taken somewhere else. And being able to do that is such a magical thing. All you have to do is just look around you and take a note of how you're feeling, what you're seeing, what things look like, what they remind you of, and just put that down on paper, one sentence at a time. So, what could you write your little stories about? And I'm not saying that you have to go out there and buy some chickens or some ducks and walk around a field and take note of the nature. That's not what you have to write about. You can write about anything, and it could be something that is literally 30 seconds from your day, but you capture that in your writing. It might be one sentence, it might be two, it might be three, but just that moment in time, just capture it and write it down. Don't think too much about it. Don't get stressed about it. If something's not coming to you, just move on and do something else. Just describe that moment. You might be on a commute, and when I used to commute into London every day, and when in particular I was pregnant, there was one particular moment I was so squashed and so close to everybody else, and my sense of smell had either gone a bit wonky because I was pregnant, or it was really heightened, but there was some really odd smells. It sounds disgusting, but it just reminded me of lots of different things. And I could have written about those, for example. Or you could be on the school run, you could be driving and notice the trees on the side of the road, or you could be walking and notice physically the weather a lot more, say if you stepped in a puddle. You could be sat in a cafe and you could hear snippets of conversation. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be big, dramatic, just something day to day that you can pull me into that cafe, or you can pull me onto your school run, or I could be sitting next to you in the car and seeing that the leaves are now bright orange while you're also seeing them. Just pull me into your stories. So how do you craft an Instagram caption? So think about everything that I've said already, but I've also got 5 tips that I would like to share with you now. Number 1, use your senses. So describe how something tastes, smells, looks, feels, or what you can hear. Number 2, the who, the what, the where, the when, and the how. For example, who are you describing? What are they doing? Where and when are they doing it? And how are they doing it? Number 3, use metaphors and similes. For example, breath chuffing like a steam train. Number 4, the use of colour in your writing. So don't just state the obvious like the sun was rising, but describe how it looks to you. So I wrote, the sun appears liquefied orange merging with the landscape. And then number 5, vary the lengths of your sentences. Short ones can create drama, a sense of urgency, and then longer ones can slow the reader down. Think about where you are in your writing. Is it a cafe with lots of hustle and bustle? Or is it a library which is quiet, secluded, and makes the person relax when they're in there, their shoulders come down? So use longer sentences to give that sense of calm. If you are thinking that you want to write, but you're overwhelmed, you lack confidence, you don't know what you want to write about, you worry that you don't have a writing voice, then just take a step back and just have this quiet little project on Instagram and practice. Use your writing muscles and do it every day or every other day, but make it a habit of taking a picture and then writing a few sentences to go with that picture, to describe it more fully, to describe how you feel about what is in that picture. You don't have to tell people this is what you're doing, but at the same time, I do recommend that you don't have your Instagram private, but you have it on public. So you get used to people that you don't know reading it, and it will boost your confidence. You'll develop a writing voice, and you'll uncover the sort of things that you like to write about. You'll find you're drawn to particular situations. Not only will you come out of it with skills, but you'll come out of it with a purpose or a fresh direction, or you know where you want to go next with a novel or an essay or a script or a non-fiction book proposal. It's a really good skill to have, and one that gives you that sense of calmness, I think, because it makes you aware more of what's around you and to look and pay attention to what is actually happening to you and what you're actually feeling and seeing and smelling at that particular moment in time. So I really hope this video has helped you or inspired you, and if you give it a go, let me know. It doesn't have to be a public comment. DM me on Instagram. I'm on there as Helen Redfern Writer, and just let me know how you're getting on, and I will come and support you waving my pom-poms. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Please do give this video a thumbs up. Click on the subscribe button if you'd like to be notified of my future videos, and I will see you again soon for another video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Bye.